Today we are on board the world's largest ship, Icon of the Seas, and we're going to be giving you a full tour of the entire ship, except for the suite only section, because y'all know we could not afford to get suite only access on the ship. It was just way too expensive. But we will be showing you every other venue on the ship, including all dining venues as well as bars and entertainment venues as well. Once again though, not the suite only sections, because y'all, this ship was expensive. Make sure y'all grab a snack, because this ship tour is about to be long, because this ship is huge. Starting this ship tour off, heading up the stairs onto deck number 16, we are going to be heading towards Thrill Island. Letting you guys know from the jump of this ship tour, it is going to seem a little bit confusing at first because we are going to be going up and down. That is how the ship layout is for all the top decks. So right here is Thrill Island, but technically this is the end of the water slides. So this is where you get off of the water slides. Technically you do get on the water slides onto deck number 20. So this is category 6 water park, which is once again the world's largest water park at sea. They have 6 different water slides for you guys. Also, they do have a family slide that can sit up to 3 people. However, I want to let you guys know this. We weren't able to get on it because you do have to ride with 2 people on. And unfortunately, the maximum weight is around 440 pounds and no 2 people in our party could fit on there, and you do have to ride with 2 people. As you guys can see from right there, that is where you enter all of the water slides, which is technically deck number 20. But in my mind, I feel like this ship really is like 16 decks, but they classify it as 20 because of the entrance to those water slides. So making our way towards the back end of the ship, you guys will see there is several seats all around the top decks of this ship. And then to the right hand side, you guys will see the category 6 water slide entrance. And just to the left over here, we have the Wave Rider, which is included in your fare. This was at 6:30 in the morning and people were already out there trying to act like they're surfing. And I have to say, I thought it was really cool that it's included in your fare, because I could have sworn on our previous Royal Caribbean cruise, it was not included in your fare, but on this one it was. And back over here is the hideaway. You guys will see the infinite pool, which is adults only. Keep that in mind. It is adults only. We saw several times people would try to take their kids in there, and it's for the adults. It's actually the one and only adults only section for this back end pool, which I have to say I think is great, because I just don't think kids should be right there on the infinity pool. So once again, this is the hideaway. On deck number 16, it does go down some stairs and there is private jacuzzis back there, and as you guys will see, it says adults 18 plus. Panning to the left-hand side of those jacuzzis and the left-hand side of the infinite pool, we do have an adults-only bar section, which was actually really nice. We only went there once during our wholesaling because it was super busy. Outside of the hideaway, we have the Dunes Golf Course, which is complimentary, but I have to say this was busy at all times during our selling because it was decorated really, really nice. And on top of that too, it was in a popular area, being that you do have a view of the category 6 water park. I have to say, looking back at this, that water park is absolutely huge, and to see water slides that big on a ship is absolutely amazing. Making our way forward from that, we do have a bar section, and beyond that we have Base Camp, which before was actually an upcharge restaurant. They did have a couple little snacks that were included complimentary. However, now everything was complimentary on our selling, so letting you guys know that if you want to grab a snack like a smash burger or pretzel bites, that is included, as to where before they did mention that it was going to be an upcharge, and I'm glad they made it included. On the opposite side of that, we have Deserted, which is a milkshake bar, and y'all, Nate got a milkshake from here and it was really expensive. I want to say it was $13, and he did say it was mediocre. On the opposite side of Deserted, we do have the rock climbing wall, which actually was really cool during our selling. They did have adults only time, so adults can get on there, because obviously all the kids want to get on there. And making your way past the rock climbing wall, we have the Crown's Edge, which this is an upcharge, and you do have to pay, I want to say it's between like $30 and $90 to go ziplining off the side of the ship. But just a little tip here, I would wait a little bit closer to your selling to book before, because it is a little bit more expensive when you book it too early. Also, it's more expensive too if you book it while you're on the ship. This is actually a really cool thing to do. Now, we did pay for this. You guys will see in a future video, you do have to walk on these little X spots right here, and you dangle off the side of the ship 174 feet. I have to say, I was really scared of this at first, but I'm so glad that I did it because it was really adventurous and really fun. And that's where you hang off, right there where the arrow is pointing. Walking past the Crown's Edge, there is so many loungers all on this top deck. During our whole selling, we did not have to look for a place to sit. There was always a place to sit, which was really nice because on other cruises I've been on, oh my gosh, there's just not enough seats. Now, these right here are little casitas, which you can rent for the day. I want to say it was around $300. However, the prices do change. Now, in my personal opinion, I think it's totally not worth it. But there was several people on a Facebook group that I was on that said that they really did like it and think that it was totally worth the money. But I just have to say, considering there is so many cool spots to lounge all throughout the ship, as you guys will see, it's just not worth it in my personal opinion. Now, they did say it does come with some complimentary non-alcoholic beverages, but I'm like, still not enough in my opinion. And right to the right hand side, we have the Swim and Tonic, which is a swim up bar. This was originally going to be for adults only. However, everyone's kind of welcome to lounge in this area, but obviously you do have to be of age to purchase an alcoholic beverage. The Swim and Tonic section was busy this whole entire cruising. I have to say, it is really cool to have a swim up bar on a ship. And here's a better view of that Swim and Tonic bar. The views off of the ship are absolutely beautiful. And right across from Swim and Tonic, we're going to head up the stairs to deck number 17. There is another pool right here. This one is a little bit hidden because it does kind of blend in with the ocean if you're looking at it from a certain view. And to the right-hand side of that, we have the Lime and Coconut Bar. I'm telling you guys, there is just so many pools and jacuzzis all on this top deck. It was actually very nice. Considering that there was so many people on our selling, we thought that it would be overly crowded. However, it wasn't because there's just so many places to lounge out. Also, there's just so many jacuzzis too. We were just so surprised that we kept on finding jacuzzis time and time again. This one right here in particular though is super cool because it's actually shaped like a martini glass or a glass of wine, as you guys can see from right here down below. I think this is actually really, really nice. I just love the decor of this entire ship. Whoever designed it did a great job. Now we are going to continue walking onto deck number 17 and we're going to be making our way to the fitness court. Heading down to deck number 15, we're going to be going inside Windjammer Marketplace, which is the buffet on Icon of the Seas. Videos are not going to be able to do this buffet justice because it is absolutely massive. And at the time of us filming this video, it was so early, the sun wasn't out, so the left-hand side of the buffet was closed. But you can go to the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Also, what's really cool about this is it's shaped like a U. So if you sit next to the windows, you can actually look down onto the Surfside section, which is super cool. Now, I do want to point this out and be a little bit messy here because I've seen it on so many different videos as well as forums. A lot of people say that the food on Icon of the Seas is better because it is a newer ship. There is a bit of a rumor out there that Royal Caribbean does do better quality food for its newer ships, and then it just kind of goes a little bit downhill after that. This was only our second Royal Caribbean selling, so I can't attest to that, but I'm just saying I've seen rumors before, and I have to say the food in the buffet was absolutely delicious. And if you guys have seen our videos before, y'all would know that I don't like buffet food. I just feel like it's always just mediocre and lackluster. However, on Icon of the Seas, it was pretty darn good. I thought it was really cool too that they do have a gluten-free section. Also, this is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and is included in your fare. Heading outside of the Windjammer Buffet towards the front of the ship, we have El Loco Fresh, which is the complimentary Mexican restaurant included in your fare. To the left-hand side of that, we do have a cantina bar. Now, I am going to be comparing this to Blue Iguana, which is the complimentary restaurant on Carnival Cruises. If you guys have been on one before, y'all know Blue Iguana is just so good and so fresh. In my personal opinion, I think it's so much better than El Loco Fresh. Here they do have quesadillas, burritos, and tacos. Now, the problem with this is that basically everything is pre-made. The tacos you do get to top yourself and make your way. However, the great part about Blue Iguana is they make it for you kind of like Chipotle, and they do have shrimp. Here, though, what I do have to say is really cool is they do have these cups that are pre-made of parfaits as well as fruit cups, so you can grab it and go. And then they do have create your own nachos, which I do believe most Blue Iguanas don't have, or I don't think any of them have. Overall, I just have to say Blue Iguana is way better in my personal opinion, but El Loco Fresh is still pretty good, and they do have 2 salsa bars right on the outside of that. Once again, you guys will notice here on the top decks, there is just so many different places to sit and lounge. This is why I was saying earlier, I just don't think the little casitas are worth the day rental. Walking a little bit further towards the front end of the ship, we have another lime and coconut bar, and to the left-hand side of that, there is another jacuzzi right there. I feel like walking around the top decks and looking for jacuzzis is like Easter egg hunting, because they just kind of pop up everywhere, which I think is really cool, because you will see on some ships that they're just all in one area, which makes it very, very crowded, and here they did a great job at spacing them out. Also, can we give a shout out to the decor? I don't know why, for some reason, I was just obsessed with the colorful decor, and I just thought it went so well with the ship and just looked very fun and inviting. And then past that, to the right hand side, there is a ping pong table section, which was really fun. Me and Nate actually stopped to play there, but it does get really hot because they do have the windows right there, so letting y'all know, you will work up a sweat. Just around the corner from the ping pong table section, you have Sprinkles, which is one of the soft serve ice cream sections on board, and this is included in your fare. Once again, the decor is just so amazing. It just pops out, and I really do like it. By the way, I have to say, I find it to be really odd that the ice cream stations are called Sprinkles, but then there's no sprinkles to put on your ice cream. And there is another beautiful view of the main pool, and you can look down below into Central Park. I have to say, overall, this ship was designed so beautifully. I just loved to look around everywhere because there's just so many different sights to see. Still on deck number 15, we are going to be making our way towards the very front of the ship, which is called the AquaDome. But before going there, we are going to make a stop at AquaDome Market. Every little dining venue that you see right here is complimentary, included in your fare. First up on the list, we have creme de la crepe, which these crepes are absolutely delicious. Once again, complimentary. I probably had about 7 during our whole selling because they were so good. And next to that, we have Ginger, which is the Asian restaurant where they have an assortment of Asian food, kind of like Panda Express. And then next up on the list, we have Max, which does have a different variety of macaroni and cheeses. And then we have Feta Mediterranean, where you can create your own wraps, and they do have falafels as well as different types of meats. And last up on the list, we have Toast and Garden, where they do have different types of sandwiches. Also, on both ends of the AquaDome market, there is complimentary drink stations where they do have fruit juices as well as water. And I do believe some of them have complimentary coffee as well too, depending upon the station. Right outside of the AquaDome market, we have the Aqua Theater where they have the Aqua Action show. A lot of people didn't really like the setup of this, and I have to say the only bad part about it was the seating to me, but I actually thought it was great. And also, a little preview of the Aqua Action show, it was absolutely amazing. I wanted to see it every day, but I only saw it twice on my selling. It was just so out of this world and next level, and probably my favorite show that I've ever seen. Right in front of the Aqua Theater, we have the Overlook section, and this is probably why this is my favorite part of the ship. I have to say it was so beautifully decorated, and I'm so sorry. I know I've said that so many times throughout this video, but it's just so beautiful and such a relaxing place. It does get really warm though, because during the day, the sun does beat right in on that. However, there is AC vents. We did take some lunch and some snacks throughout our selling and just chilled in those beautiful chairs and just enjoyed the views. Overall, this section to me was a main selling point. And it's so crazy because online people are like, oh, the dome on the icon is so ugly. It looks like the beluga whale. And I'm so sorry, but I disagree. I really like it and I love the decor all throughout. And they have these TV screens to make it seem like you're underwater. Overall, the theming to me was on point. And they do have these sections right up here, which were busy the whole entire ship, which is why they call it the Overlook right here. You can actually go up into these sections and enjoy a little bit of private time, which people were taking naps inside of these all throughout our sellings, and I totally do understand why, because this whole entire section was so relaxing. Heading out of the Overlook, you have another view of the Aqua Theater, and right above that, you have the Coastal Kitchen, which is the restaurant for suite guests only. So you can only access this restaurant if you are staying in a suite, and this restaurant is super cool because you could book your time to dine while the Aqua Action show is on and get a front row seat to the show. And speaking of dinner and a show, you have Hooked Seafood, which is the upcharge restaurant to the right-hand side, and you can also book your time to dine while the Aqua Action show is on, but do keep in mind you are going to have obstructed views because you have a ceiling right above you, as to where for the Coastal Kitchen you can actually see where the deep divers dive from the very top of the dome down into the pool. You won't be able to see that at Hooked. Also, I have to say, once again, the decor, I'm sorry. I know you guys are tired of me saying it, but look at these blue panel lightings. This is just the reason why I love the AquaDome so much. I just thought it was beautiful and definitely gave you that aqua type of vibe. Also, can we give a huge shout out to these elevators? I thought they were so seamless and so nice. They're the smart elevators where you press a button and it just tells you where to go. And they are super big too, so it was never overcrowded. Now, we are going to be heading down the elevators to deck number 8 to check out the Empire Supper Club. This restaurant blew my mind. No, I did not eat there because it's $200 per person. That is a $200 upcharge, which to me is absolutely insane. But I do have to say, we are broke. Maybe that's why, because we heard several other people on board say this was their favorite dining experience ever. We just couldn't afford that because that's just way too much. Still on deck number 8, we have Central Park. I absolutely love Central Park. I thought this was so beautiful. First stop on the list, though, in Central Park is Chops Grill, which is an upcharge steakhouse restaurant. We didn't eat inside here because I do got to keep it real. The upcharge was kind of hefty, and that seems to be an ongoing thing for Royal Caribbean, that their upcharge restaurants are a bit pricey. Across the way, we do have Izumi Sushi as well as teppanyaki. We did pay the upcharge on this, which you guys will see in a future video. And just a little bit of a spoiler alert, I have to say it was absolutely delicious and worth the upcharge in my personal opinion. Also, I want to give a shout out to Izumi in here because this was really well spread out and it didn't seem overly crowded as to some other teppanyaki restaurants we've been on before on Carnival Cruises. It seemed super crowded. This was not. It was really big. I know it probably looks small in the video, but it was pretty big. Also, do keep in mind half of this is for teppanyaki and the other half is for sushi. So if you do not want to have the teppanyaki experience, you can still dine inside here and just go to the sushi section. And speaking of sushi section, we do have the Izumi sushi in the park, so you can actually go up to this window and just order some food from that window right there, which I have to say I thought was super cool. So if you wanted to chill in Central Park and just grab some sushi, the prices were very fair of that too. I did plan on trying that out. However, I never made my way around to it because there's just so many different restaurants. And right across from that, we do have another bar. Overall, the decor inside of Central Park was absolutely beautiful. Also, all of these trees and plants that you see are 100% real. I do want to give a bit of a warning though. It does get very hot and humid inside here because there is no airflow because it is blocked by both sides of the ship. There is one complimentary place to eat inside Central Park, which is the Park Cafe. This was open for breakfast and lunch. During our selling, it did close at 5:30, so I guess if you want to classify that as dinner, that's entirely up to you. This place was awesome. Me and Nate seemed to go here the most during the selling because they did have so many different types of desserts. They did switch them out every day. And for breakfast, we only made it here one day. They had breakfast sandwiches, and then they had a create your own bagel bar, which was absolutely amazing with different types of cream cheeses. And this was premium, y'all. They had smoked salmon as well as arugula. Like, y'all know arugula is kind of pricey. And then they had different types of cheeses too. They also do have a different types of oats as well as fruit and yogurt parfaits and fruit cups for you to take and go. A little bit of a secret is that we found on some days they did have Ruffles, sour cream and onion, and Lay's chips, which everyone was like, oh my gosh, free chips on a cruise. That is unheard of. I've never seen it in any other cruise. Outside of the Park Cafe, we have some premium shops to the left-hand side, and y'all, I did not step foot in there one single time. I saw like a Rolex sign, and I was like, oop, that's my cue to avoid that place, because y'all know nobody in our group can afford a Rolex. To the opposite side of that, we have Louis Jazz and Blues, which is so crazy that my dad loves to watch jazz and blues or listen to jazz and blues every time we go to New Orleans, but we didn't go in here one single time. This ship was just so huge that there was so many different shows and activities to go to that we kind of forgot about this, and it is tucked away in Central Park, so it is a little bit hidden. But looking back at this footage, I do wish that we did go in there to check it out because it is a really nice venue. I wanted to include in here what Central Park looked like during the nighttime, and I have to say it was so beautiful. It looked so romantic. The decor, the lighting, everything was just done right. I really liked it here. Actually, one night they did have a violin player, and I just thought it was so beautiful, but it was only one night, which I thought to be very random. I kind of wish they had it every night because it just set the ambiance for all of Central Park. Heading out of the doors of Central Park, we are going to be making our way to Surfside, which is on deck number 7, but you do access it through deck number 8, and you go down some stairs, and actually just to the right-hand side of the stairs, there is a little slide, which I thought was so funny because, y'all, the way that I was like pressuring Nate to go on this so much throughout our cruise, and one time, if you guys saw our previous video, he went on it, and there was so many people watching him. Right here, he actually slid down it, and I thought it was pretty cool. Y'all, I couldn't get on that side, though, because I was like, ooh, it looks kind of rough, and I got a bad back. To the right-hand side, we have a candy shop, which is an upcharge, so keep in mind, you do have to pay for all the candy inside there. I have to say, it was a pretty small candy shop. I feel like other cruises have bigger candy shops than that, but in my opinion, you don't really need a candy shop because there's just so many desserts all throughout the ship. Back over here, there is a child's play area to where you can go to the splash zone, and they do have an apparatus. Right across from the apparatus, we have Sprinkles Ice Cream, which is also complimentary. And next to that, we have the Surfside Bites, which is also complimentary, included in your fare. It's a cool little spot to walk up and grab some quick bites, such as popcorn chicken or pizza. And they do have some churros too. But I have to say, I tried the churros twice during our selling, and they were super still. That is one of the 2 complimentary restaurants back here on Surfside. And then we do have Pier number 7, which is an upcharge restaurant. On other Royal Caribbean cruises, this is typically Johnny Rockets. Here they decided to do Pier 7. I have to say, during brunch time, it's absolutely worth the cost. I want to say it was only $12.99, and you can get 3 courses, and the food was actually really good. It is super small inside here. I kind of feel like no one really ate there because there was 2 other dining options. Right here in Surfside, so people probably thought, why pay the upcharge? And across from that, we have the Lemon Post bar. So if you are out there with your kids and you feel like you need a little bit of a drink, there you go right there. Do keep in mind all alcoholic drinks are an upcharge for those of you new cruisers out there. You know what I have to say too is that the pricing wasn't too bad. For example, like a seltzer was about $7, which is not too crazy in my opinion. As y'all can see, there is just so many seats all throughout this ship. So if you're back here in the splash zone, there's so many places to lounge. I really liked this because I feel like on other cruises, you're always fighting for a seat. And that's not the case here. I also wanted to show you guys this during the nighttime because I absolutely loved the colors during the night. I feel like it just came to life and just looked so beautiful. During the day, it still was nice, but the lighting at nighttime just really made it so nice. Walking past Sprinkles Ice Cream, you have the carousel, which is included in your fare. And yes, adults can get on it too. Me and Nate actually got on it. You guys will see in a future video. We were super embarrassed, but we were like, hey, you got to be big kids, especially when you're paying these prices. To the right-hand side of that, we have Surfside Eatery, which is basically an extension of the buffet. This is complimentary and included in your fare. I really liked this spot. I felt like they had such cool food there. They designed it to make kids want to eat their food. Y'all know sometimes kids can be picky, so they have things such as Spider-Man pizza to where it's like a webbing of ketchup, and they just had different quirky designs on their food, and it was actually really good. They had different types of sliders, fish sliders, regular burger sliders, and the food was really good here. For some reason, I found it to be a little bit more fresh than the actual buffet, and I liked the food better here, even though technically it still is a buffet. And right across from that, we have the arcade, which keep in mind, this is not included in your fare. Each game here at the arcade will cost you a bit extra. So I definitely will be cautious with your kids' sell and sign card, because if they have their card, they just tap it and it will charge your room. So keep that in mind, because these games can get really pricey. We played a couple before on a Carnival cruise and we were like, oh my gosh, like each game was like $2. So that can add up really quick if you're spending some time in the arcade. Heading out of the arcade, you're going to be making your way towards the big pink flamingo, and you're going to head down the stairs to deck number 6. We're going to be making our way towards Playmaker, but before going inside Playmaker, they do have a gift shop. I got to keep it real with y'all and let you guys know that this gift shop is extremely expensive. I don't know why. They had Royal Caribbean branded merch, and there was a cute whale shirt that I was like, oh my gosh, this shirt looks like Nate, and I have to get it. And then I was like, whoa, I looked at the price tag and it was $65. So I was like, oh yeah, we won't be getting that, but it was super cute. Anyways, making our way into Playmaker, this right here is a really cool spot if you guys like to watch sporting events such as baseball, football. Y'all, it got super packed during some football games, so do keep in mind you want to get there a bit early if you want to have a good viewing section. Also, do keep in mind that this is an upcharge restaurant, so any drinks or any food that you order from here is going to be an upcharge. You guys are going to see shortly that there is an owner's box that you can rent out. I want to say up to 8 people can sit in there, but I looked at the pricing, and once again, this all does change depending upon selling, and sometimes they will run an offer, but this was about $300 while we were selling, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, we are not going to be paying $300 for that. In my opinion, I would get there a little bit early and find a booth to watch it rather than pay that much. And right beyond that, we have Absolute Zero, which is the ice skating rink where they do have the ice skating shows. Now, I have to say, in my personal opinion, I thought this to be just a bit messy, only because the entrance technically is inside Playmakers, so it can get very crowded very fast. And actually, before going down the stairs on the left-hand side, there is a teens only section, but it was closed off at the time of us filming this video. I have to say, this ice skating rink was absolutely beautiful. It was so cool. The ice skating show was really cool too. I did watch it twice while I was on board. It was very different though. It was called Elemental, and basically it's all about the elements, and it was a bit different. I have to say I did like the ice skating show better on Navigator of the Seas. We're going to be making our way out of Playmakers, and this is the only exit out, even though there is some private exits down there that say to the Royal Promenade. We were kind of scared to go through those doors, so we're going to be exiting through Playmakers. Just to the opposite side of Playmakers, we have Adventure Ocean, which is a place where you can drop off your kids at daycare. Now, I got to keep it real with you guys. I do not know if this is included in your fare because I've never sailed with a kid before, so I don't know if this is an upcharge or if it's included, but this is a really cool section. Also, they had different sections for each age group. Say, for example, if your kid is like 7 to 8, they had a group for that, and then they had a group for smaller kids, so that way they're not all together. But there was several cool activities in here. They do have a small little theater, and these screens that you see to the right hand side are actually touch screen games, so the kids can play games there. Some of the rooms were closed off, but I have to say this is the coolest kids section, and I thought it was really nice. If I had a kid, I would definitely drop them off there so I can head to the bar. On deck number 6, we are going to be making our way towards the Promenade. I am completely obsessed with this Promenade. It was so huge. Videos do not do it justice. This is technically on deck number 6 and number 5. First, we're going to be starting off with Boleros, which is to the left-hand side. It is a bar, and on top of that, too, they do have live music. There was a couple nights where they had a salsa dancing, too, which I thought was really fun. It does get pretty crowded right here in this area, so do keep that in mind. If you don't like crowds, I kind of would avoid this during the nighttime because it seems to be a very popular spot. Walking past that, we're going to be making our way towards the Pearl Cafe. There is so many cool spots right here to take a seat and to enjoy a drink or some food. The Pearl Cafe was probably one of my favorite spots on the ship because it was so cool. They had different types of sandwiches and grab and go foods. I love a ship that has grab and go foods because sometimes I like to just chill in the room and have a little snack. And all these things that you see right here are complimentary and you can order whatever you want. They also do have some sandwiches too that were in the cold case, and they can warm them up in the toaster oven for you if you would like. To the right-hand side of Pearl Cafe, there is an entrance to Central Park. So if you want to make your way up those stairs, grab some food, and go chill in Central Park, you can totally do that. And to the left-hand side of that, we have a complimentary drink station. I got to keep it real with y'all. The coffee on this ship was absolutely amazing. I talked to several people that were selling too, and they said, wow, this is the best coffee that they've had. I was thinking, oh, you don't have to pay for Starbucks when you have coffee this good. And making our way past that, we're going to be heading towards the attic. Now, during the time of us filming this video, they were setting up for an art show, so it does look a little bit different. However, at nighttime, I have to say I love the colors and the windows. They're very interactive to make you think that there are people in there. This is where they have the adults only comedy show. During our selling, it was adults only, which I actually enjoyed because some of the cruises that we've been on before do allow kids in there, and I just feel like some of these comedy shows should be adults only. Right across from the attic, we have Dueling Pianos, which is a really nice venue. This was actually really popular during our selling. It seemed to be busy all throughout the night because they do have people playing pianos live. It's pretty cool too because some of them are like comedians and they play the piano and they sing and crack jokes. All the adults seem to really love this section. I have to give it up to the decor. Once again, the piano on the wall, the lighting, they really did it right with the decor on Icon of the Seas. Also, if you guys want to get a seat here, I would recommend getting there early because once again, this was very popular. People were actually even standing outside to watch in on the show. Walking out of there to the left-hand side, we have Giovanni's, which is their Italian restaurant on the ship. This is an upcharge, and I have to keep it real. As much as I love all the venues on the ship, Giovanni's just didn't do it for me. I feel like because it is an upcharge restaurant, it was just kind of out in the open, and some people were sitting to the right-hand side, and this is a walkway. So it's kind of like you're paying a premium upcharge, and then people are walking through the restaurant. I didn't really like the setup of this. In my personal opinion, I feel like Icon of the Seas should have a complimentary restaurant right here rather than an upcharge, because I feel like when you're paying an upcharge restaurant, you want to have that exclusivity and you kind of want a private venue. And this just wasn't all that nice, in my opinion. We did eat at Giovanni's before on another ship, and it is pretty good Italian food. However, for that price, I don't know. I just didn't like this venue. And to the left-hand side of Giovanni's, we have the Schooner Bar. This right here, if you're looking for a nice place to chill, this seemed to be pretty empty throughout our sellings, and it was really nice. Also, sometimes they will be playing piano music right there too, and this seemed to be very chill and low-key. They also do play trivia games here too, so if you are looking at any of the trivia games, they do play them all throughout the ship, but this seemed to be the most popular spot for trivia. Then we're going to be making our way down to deck number 5 towards the fitness center. I got to keep it real with y'all. I did not go to this gym one single time to work out, only to film this video for y'all, because I am so sorry, but when I'm on vacation, I am not going to be working out. But hey, if you guys want to work out, you guys can totally do so. There is an entrance too on deck number 6, and there is a workout little section up there, but it is very small, and that seemed to be where they have the workout classes. So if you are interested in workout classes, keep in mind that may be on deck number 6, but the main part of the gym is on deck number 5, and you do have to walk on the outside of the ship on the walking track to make your way towards the fitness center. Also, we didn't film the full walking track, but it was really nice too, and we discovered on the very last day that there is back end of the ship views back there, and we were like, wow, we didn't know that. Also, I have to say that my dad and brother did go to the gym, and they really enjoyed the equipment. They thought it was new and very good. I wouldn't know anything about that because y'all, I only know how to eat. Heading out of the gym, still on deck number 5, we're going to be making our way back towards the Promenade to check out the Spotlight Karaoke. This also was a very popular venue, especially late at night. They seem to have late night karaoke, and this is a really good time. If you haven't been on a ship before, I highly recommend to go to the karaoke because you will see some people in there that are a little bit tipsy, and it's just a good time. Right across from that, there is some shops. There's a perfume and makeup shop if you need to pick up some, smell goods or any type of makeup. They have it right here. I gotta keep it real though. The pricing is not all that. It's a little expensive in my opinion. And next to that, we have Sorrento's, which is the pizza spot. This is open till 4 o'clock in the morning. So if you want some pizza, there you go. I forgot to mention too, the Pearl Cafe is open 24/7. So if you want to get a late night bite, you can totally do that at Pearl Cafe. There is some other shops up here to the left and the right hand side. During our selling, they did have a really good sale at 50% off of some fragrances. That was a madhouse though, letting you guys know. And to the left hand side of that, we have Starbucks, which is an upcharge. So do keep that in mind. Also, a little tip too, you can pay with your Starbucks app on the ship. And to the right hand side of that, we have the Pearl. This is like the most popular spot on the ship to take some pictures. This was crowded during the whole entire selling because so many people wanted that Instagram moment because this is a beautiful art installment. Caddy corner from the Pearl, we have the Point and Feather bar. Now, do keep in mind yet again that all of the bars are going to be an upcharge unless you have the premium drink package, which in my personal opinion, I don't really think it's worth it. I want to say for our selling, it was priced at $79 a day, which is really expensive for a 7-day selling. Also, too, for those of you that don't know, everyone staying in the room over 21 has to purchase a drink package too, so it can get very pricey, and you would have to drink a lot of alcohol to get your money's worth. This bar is decorated really nice and very old school, and they do have live music in there. Right across from that, we have the guest service section, but also I want to say this too, they did a really good job at not being so crowded at the guest service section. If you have any guest service concerns, you can actually call from your stateroom and they will try to help you out from your room so you actually don't have to leave. And back right across from that, we have Next Cruise, where you can book your future cruise. They do have some special offers while you are on board. If you book a future cruise, you can get some money off. But in my personal experience, I found Next Cruise to be a bit more expensive than to just book from the website, so I don't quite understand that. On deck number 5, right across from the Pearl, we have a set of escalators that takes you down to deck number 4. I don't know why I was completely obsessed with these escalators, because I had never been on an escalator on a ship before, and I just thought it was so cool. Making our way down to deck number 4 into Casino Royale. This is a massive casino. I feel like on video, you're not going to be able to see just how massive it is, but I do think it is the biggest one that I have ever been in on a cruise. But of course, once again, we are on Icon of the Seas, which is the world's largest ship, so it's only fitting that they do have a massive casino. Now, I do want to share our casino experience with you guys. In my opinion, this casino was extremely tight, and so many other cruisers were saying this is the tightest casino that they had ever played in. So many people were losing money, but obviously a lot of people like to chase in the casinos on a cruise because you do have the potential offers of getting a free cruise, which I have to say may cost you a lot of money. So do take that with a grain of salt and be cautious with your gambling. It could seem very enticing and exciting, but on this cruise, for some reason, it was a little stingy. Walking through the casino, you're going to see an entrance for the music hall. Now, this venue right here is a little bit hidden, and in my opinion, I think that's why it was so empty during our selling, because you do have to walk through the casino in order to find this, or there is a set of stairs that is on the outside of the Royal Theater, which you guys will see in a bit. So on both ends, it is a little bit difficult to get to, and it is a little bit hidden, and this is why I think not a lot of people went in there. But if you guys are fans of live music and live bands, this is going to be your venue. I have to say, I think that they should have had at least one comedy show in here, because for some reason I was thinking this was a nice setup for a comedy show, and the actual attic, although it is beautiful inside, it is very small, and this seemed to hold way more people. So I think at least one of the comedy shows should have been held here, in my opinion. But other than that, this venue is really nice. Heading out of the music hall, right across from that, we're going to be making our way to the Royal Theater. You can actually access the Royal Theater on deck number 5 and number 4. This theater is absolutely massive. Of course it is, because it has to seat so many guests. This is where you're going to be seeing several different live shows, but mainly the Wizard of Oz. That show, I couldn't record any footage of it because they do have copyrights against that, but it is absolutely amazing. If you guys like the Wizard of Oz or any type of Broadway production show, this is great quality. The things that they were doing was absolutely amazing. I will definitely say, though, it is long. It is about an hour and 50 minutes, which typically on cruises, I want to say each show is around an hour, but that was longer, but definitely worth it. Now we're going to be making our way towards the dining room. You can access this on deck number 3, 4, and 5. I did mention in a previous video that in my personal opinion, I found this dining hall to be kind of lackluster. I feel like on other ships, it is definitely way nicer. Don't get me wrong. wrong. This is definitely a really nice dining venue. I just expected a little bit more, being that this is Icon of the Seas and it's meant to be so grand and new and super expensive. And I just kind of felt that it was a little, I don't know, just kind of lackluster in there, and I was expecting a bit more. But overall, this is where you're going to be having your main entrees, and I have to say the food was really good. Also, they do have breakfast here. Some days throughout your selling, it really does depend because they do change it up, but primarily you will be having dinner in the main dining hall. And that concludes the Icon of the Seas ship tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up and make sure you guys click that follow button for future Icon of the Seas videos.